Eamon, thanks again for the time for the interview. First of all, Newcastle seem to be getting stuck into a relegation battle and they have injuries and Europa League games to contend with. Is there anything that can be done to stop the slide?
Well, Newcastle have a lot of very good players who a lot of them are injured at the moment, but they're certainly underperforming. Cabaye is a huge player for them. French player, he's been missing. Ben Arfa is a big player for them. He's missing. I think Newcastle will be safe. They won't be going into the relegation zone. They have two very good strikers, Cisse and Djemba Ba. They'll be okay, but given the way they started the season and the way they finished it last season, it'll be sort of a bit disappointing for them, because they would have been hoping top 6 finish and to get into the Europa League again. They're not going to do that, I don't think. They've got left themselves with quite a bit to do, but they're not going to be in a relegation battle because they're too good for that.
Next, it seems more and more in football that tackling is being phased out of the game. Is this a good or a bad thing?
It's a very, very bad thing, because tackling is part of the art of defending. A good, well-timed tackle is hugely integral part of football. The referees now don't understand it. This generation of referees, particularly in the Premier League, there is an awful lot of malicious and dangerous tackling, which is outrageous and should be punished. But they blow the whistle now for even very good tackles, and sometimes even good tackles you get a booking for them. So it's a mess. But then when you look at soccer, everything is a mess. The discipline, the way the behaviours, the way the supporters behave, everything in football is a mess. The discipline on and off the field, the way the managers behave, the way the players behave, the way the crowds chant these awful slogans. So football is a very sick sport, and part of the sickness is an inability of referees to understand the game and the art of tackling, and what is legitimate and what is not legitimate. So it's a big problem.
And finally, this week's tips.
This week's tips, right. We get the Christmas money this week. This Saturday, I'd go for draws again. 3 doubles and a treble. We've done very well this season on this. Southampton, Sunderland. I think Sunderland, it's a kind of relegation fight. Southampton aren't in the bottom. They're not in the relegation struggle, but they might be. But Sunderland are, and they'll be wanting a point, and I think they'll be good enough to get a point. I think Aston Villa have done really well. Big win at Anfield last week. They're a young side. They need the points. They're going to Chelsea, and I think they've got a chance of getting what will be a surprise draw against Chelsea. I'm not convinced at all by Chelsea. Yeah, and the third draw would be West Ham Everton. Everton away from home, they always keep things tight. West Ham don't have a lot of firepower, and I think I see that as a draw. So this weekend the 3 draws would be Southampton Sunderland, Chelsea Villa, West Ham Everton. Doubles and trebles. I think we've got a good chance of picking up the Christmas money.
Eamon, thanks again for your time.
No problem.